to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, and my special guest today, Tim Voris. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, Mike. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for having me.
Doing super. Tim is the fair manager for the Fairfield County Fair, and coming up right around the corner. And
yeah, just a few more weeks here. We'll be over at Fair and High, enjoying all the wonderful food and events going on at the fair.
This is your second year actually doing it, because you were working with Dave last year, and
yes,
I've been out walking the dog past there, and grounds look pretty good. I mean, it looks in good shape.
You know, we got a good crew out there, and they work hard every day. I'd like to thank them because they're out there making it look beautiful and taking care of the grass and everything. Matter of fact, one day I think you were walking the dog, and I was out there mowing a little bit, helping them and stuff. But no, we have a very wonderful fairgrounds, best in Ohio, and we're the last and the best fair in Ohio. So I'm very proud of the directors of the Fairfield County Agricultural Society for giving me this opportunity, and it's an enjoyable, fun job, and I take it seriously because I also know that I respect the history of Fairfield County, and especially the fairgrounds. It's a special place for all of us.
And your family's been involved in 4-H for years.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely years. Well, you can't call me sir.
Well, you know, it's that.
I know.
You know,
being in law enforcement, I understand.
Yeah.
The fair's coming up the 8th through the 14th, and all sorts of activities going on. But let's talk a little bit about the finances of it. I mean, the price is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. We're probably one of the. It's a traditional fair for Fairfield County, and Sunday is free day. So you know, if you don't have a little extra money and want to come to the fair in Fairfield County, you can come on Sunday. It's free day. We open up at noon and conclude at 7 p.m. We have gospel music in the grandstands, all that concession food that's over there. Our livestock animals are just about in place, and it's always a great time to stop over because, you know, we have many different things that happen during the fair, but that's the great free day that everybody kind of comes together on that Sunday and enjoys what's there.
It's a great. I remember taking the kids through and just enjoy it, walk around, meet. Of course, you got to eat. I mean, you got whatever. What's your favorite fair food? What do you?
Well, you know, speaking of food this year, Mike, one of the things I'm looking forward to is Louisiana Grill has a booth where they sell bourbon chicken. And the bourbon chicken is supposed to be because of the sauce. And the gentleman that runs that booth, it's a specialty for us this year. I like to think that chickens crossed the road at the Fairfield County Fair this year. But I'm a big fan of chicken. He had an opportunity to get into the fair, and I think everybody will enjoy it. It's really good stuff.
Wow, that's neat.
Louisiana Grill.
Louisiana Grill. Where's it? Is there a location?
On the main midway there, and the midway there, and he's got bourbon chicken. So.
Wow, sounds. I have to try it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
I try to eat something different every year. You know, and as long as the doctors say, hey, you can eat that, but I enjoy it.
Well, I've seen you up at Dippin' Dots several times, so I know ice cream's a favorite too, sir.
Just once in a while, that's all. Just once in a while. And they also, as we go through the schedule, Sunday is a free day. Monday is military.
Monday is. We're calling it Veterans Day for Fairfield County Fair, and we're having a coming home celebration at the old grandstand. That'll be at 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon. We've got several local officials going to do some proclamations and recognize our veterans. Steve Stivers is coming down to give us some comments and things on behalf of the military. So I think it's going to be a wonderful program. Susan Green from Pickerington has been absolutely helpful in putting this together for me. She's retired military. She does a great job supporting our veterans and stuff. So Monday, we're excited. It's Veterans Day. Park Russell and our local Veterans Commission has helped us. So I think it'll be a good day for recognizing our veterans.
That's fantastic. It's always great to recognize the veterans.
Yep.
And then Tuesday, where it's some different music going on.
Yeah, a lot of different music. Tuesday is a big time for us because it's our Rural Urban Day, sponsored by 90.9, and it's an opportunity for me to see Steve Rao. Those of you that have not seen Steve Rao in a cowboy hat, Steve wears his Stetson that day for me, and we do the morning show with the Stetsons on.
I have not seen that.
So you're you're going to have to enjoy that. But a lot of things going on Tuesdays. We kick off, before we get too far on to Tuesday, Monday nights are motocross.
Oh, that's
So
right.
we're having motocross at the grandstand that evening. Tickets are still available. They can stop in and do that. And a lot of young people have showed an interest in riding their motorcycles at our fair and racing them in the motocross event. So that'll be at the grandstands Monday night.
Can you still enter to get in, or is that?
Yes, they can call our office
Okay.
at 740-653-3041, and we'll get them attached to the right people to get registered for that.
Age
and hook
limit?
them up.
Young kid? I mean,
No, I think there's different classes for the different ages that want to ride, and it's sponsored by our local motorcycle, Joe Carson Honda, Lancaster Sports Cycle, and Paul Ackers is helping us out. So it's been a great sponsorship. A great Fairfield National Bank is always a great sponsor for that event. We get a chance to show our local guys on our motorcycles. Tuesday's something that maybe we can do a celebrity lawnmower race.
maybe we get Steve Rowan and Stetson.
Well, we might get him out there, but it's lawnmower racing on Tuesday night at the Fairfield County Fair. That's why we call it Urban Day, is because we're bringing things into the fair from the farm. And this should be neat. It's well received. All the other fairs that have had it, people enjoy watching it. And I don't know if they do have a celebrity race or not, but
That's not a bad idea.
I got your number, Mike.
Yeah.
I got your number there.
Well, I got to tip it over.
So, but yeah, it's. I think it'll be a good time Tuesday evening.
That's fantastic. And then we move into Wednesday.
Yeah, we do. We move into Wednesdays, our Primrose Senior Citizens Day, and WLOH sponsors that. It's a great event for our seniors to come out and enjoy the day. They are able to get their Walgreens flu shot if they would like to have that. Travel through the art hall, see all the new exhibits and different things like that. I seen where there was a couple different articles this year on the tallest weed, and that the Sharp brothers, I think they're brothers down around the Manda area, and I think Mark had one of the tallest weeds last year during the fair. And I got to talking to him, and I said, I think that's a little different weed than I've experienced in my career, Mark. Is the vegetation's not quite the same as I've seen, so probably not criminal on his behalf, but more artistical and agricultural. But so there's a lot of wonderful things that happens at the art hall, and stop over. I encourage people to see all the food, all the different vegetables, and the art, the pictures, photography that happens over there. And so it's a good time on Wednesday for our seniors. Thursday rolls into our school day. Meyer sponsors our school day. And while we're going day to day, Mike, we've got different entertainment that's scheduled over at the old grandstand. We wanted to bring some variety of musical entertainment. So we have a banjo player over there that does a great banjo program for the seniors. So they'll be over there on senior day. And then as we progress and we move towards Thursday, Wednesday nights our Taylor Team Truck and Tractor Pull, as you know. That's always a great event to go to. Moving into Thursdays, our school day. And like I said, we got different events scheduled. Our sales that are going on at the Feeder Creek Veterinary Show Arena over there is always a good time to stop over and see all the different sales going on with our livestock, and take an opportunity, if you know somebody and you're interested in being part of that, I encourage people to stop over and do that. Friday, we move into our homecoming day, sponsored by Treehouse Brands and Eagle Gazette, and our demolition derby on Friday and Saturday. Which is always a good time. Everybody enjoys that. I'm told this year we're going to have 8 combines in the Combine Derby. So we'll see how that goes. But we had a couple last year that were on their way to the Combine and broke down on the road. So it's we'll see how many we got, but it should be a good time.
Now, also on Friday, there's something new, Rising Stars, Fairfield County Rising Stars.
Yeah, what we wanted to do is Cheryl Ritten and Debbie Wrights put together a nice program over there. So if you get a chance, we'll have it online, and we'll have a schedule over there of all the different musical entertainment. We're having a barber shop quartet group, we're having banjo, we're having some Western. We got Jacob Lonis, who does the Friday evening show for us, a little country act. Jameson Lance is there. So Rising Stars is a kind of a neat thing we put together. It's kind of like American Idol, where you're Fairfield County, you want to to sing, you want to play a musical instrument, you want to come over and talk, whatever.
I'd do a lot.
But it's going to be neat. I think we got some judges, Judy Root from Fairfield Federal, one of our nicest sponsors, helping out with a new sign out in front of the fairgrounds, is going to help judge. Local Lancaster Eagle Gazette and one of our DJs from T100 are going to kind of be the sponsors and the judges for that. So it should be fun.
I know there's a lot. I want to jump back to the sign because it's excellent. And again, hats off to Fairfield Federal.
Fairfield Federal, yes.
And Judy Root is very active in the community. But talk a little bit about the sign because there's a lot of information on the sign.
Well, when I first got to the fairgrounds and kind of learned the different things that we do, Jim Marcinko does a great job. He's our treasurer at the fair, and does a wonderful job, and he really literally has to go out there and change the sign regularly on what's going on at the fairgrounds. And I thought, is there a more efficient way we can do that? I met with Judy and the friends at Fairfield Federal, and they've been very helpful to me. We've got some great ideas that we're doing this year. They did a nice job in helping us out for the sign. So one of the things we wanted to try this year is credit cards. When you come into the Broad Street walk-in gate, you can bring your credit card, you can slide your credit card, pay for your entrance, save your extra cash to buy you some extra bourbon chicken with when you get up there. But it's just an opportunity and a choice. People, if you don't have a lot of extra cash, maybe you want to use your credit card to get your family in. We wanted to offer that service. So that's been really, I think, we're going to see how that goes. And then next year, what I'd like to do is set up the lanes so when you come into the fair and you want to scan your card coming into our parking lot, you'll be able to do that to pay to get into the fair. So I think it's a great relationship. I'm very appreciative of them. We've got a couple new ATM sites on the fairgrounds where people, if they need some extra cash, is going to be available to get that too. So, hats off to Fairfield Federal because they've been a great sponsor for many a year to Fairfield County Fair. And they stepped up again and has helped us out.
And we've had some great sponsors, Standing Stone, Bank Stage. You talk a little bit about the sponsors and the community involved.
Yeah, and Standing Stone Bank is what I wanted to say is I went down and I talked to Jeff because when this idea of what are we going to do at the grandstand this year to make it something that people will enjoy. And one of the things I've always thought was music travels from generation to generation. And, we remember the Beatles. We remember some of the older groups, Mike, because we're so young.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, one of the things I thought we could do is keep that a entertainment music area. And I talked to Jeff Beard down at the Standing Stone Bank to see if he could help me sponsor, the blacktop that we're going to put down there, to pave it, to put the stage up, to sponsor the stage and stuff. And Standing Stone Bank really stepped up and helped us with that. And so it should be a great relationship for a number of years with that over there as we progress to determine what we're going to do in the future with the site. And I think that's just it, is taking our time, making sure, because back in the day when they built the new grandstand, they were perplexed with what were they going to do at the old grandstand. Well, those people decided to move that old grandstand over to the curb where it was. And I suspect at that time they wanted to keep the tradition of the old grandstand the way it was, and to look at it and to remember it as a historical icon for the fairgrounds. So
I thought that was always there. They moved there over there?
Yeah, there was when they built the new grandstands, there was two sets at one time. There was a men's and ladies grandstand over there, and they had a fire at one time, and they had ended up moving that one grandstand over around the curve. And I just think probably during that time when these things were going on, they were keeping that traditional value of the property and the items that were there. So.
The website people can go to get the agenda, is there someplace they can?
Yeah, they can go to the Fairfield County Fair website. We're also on Facebook to cover all those, www.fairfieldcountyfair.com. And our website will have the schedule. We'll have different ideas of, if they want to look at registering something, pretty close. We're wrapping that up today. But, there are a lot of information there for them.
It's again, it's $5 to get in.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, it's a great bargain. I mean, it's a great bargain.
Well, it's a wonderful fair. We've got the best fair in Ohio, the best location, and people, I think, come for many things. Last year there was, groups that came that were reunions. People meet back up at that time, that second week in October, to just enjoy all the wonderful things that are going on in different events, and whether it's recognizing, a married couple for 50 years or more, or whether it's going over and seeing some wonderful music at the art hall, or our seniors, or whatever it might be that they enjoy. It's tradition, and we want to make sure that we've got the best out there to share with them, and that we're doing everything we can to support their efforts to bring the best fair to Fairfield County in Ohio.
How much time do you spend talking with other fair operators or fair managers? Or did they call you and say, hey, how do you do this?
Well, probably one of the best advice I had was Virgil Strickler from the Ohio State Fair. After I was selected for this position, I met with him and I said, Virgil, you've been an icon in management affairs for a long time, as Dave Benson has. And I said, what can I do to better myself to be a good fair manager? And he says, you just have to think young. And you have to stay above the curve if you can, so to speak. You have to have ideas from many different facets, put it together and see what people like and what they want to see, and listen to what they have to say, because they'll tell you.
Sure.
And I think if I become a good listener and take in the experience of some of the other fair managers, I think it will help us. And Dave Benson's been very good and kind to me and learning a lot of different things. But it's a process and it's a lot of work. It's not just stepping into something that you think you can do tomorrow, because it takes a year in preparation for an October event.
Yeah. Because you'll start, as soon as this fair ends, you'll start for next year.
Yeah, I started in January of last year, actually completing the contracts for the fair, and even while I'm at the fair, I will complete contracts for the next year. And then you move into that phase of the series of what's needed for harness racing, what you can do to support 4-H, what's the different areas need and stuff. So
my grandmother used to be in the harness racing big time. I mean, big time. Is that still is that a popular, as it was 15 years ago?
It is very popular. We don't draw a little brown jug crowd, so to speak, but we have a good crowd that shows up. We have a lot of people that have been followers for a long time, and one of the new things or themes that I have this year for our t-shirts for our harness racing is come race with us, and we want you to come and enjoy. One of the first night racing fairgrounds was Ohio and Fairfield County Fair. When they drilled 3 gas lines on our fairgrounds many years ago, they lit lights around the racetrack to have harness racing at night.
Wow.
It was called the Lake of Fire, and it was one of the first night racing, harness racing events that happened in Ohio.
That's interesting. Now, do you do a lot of history checking? That's the first time I've ever heard of that. That's amazing.
I'm glad you asked me that, because, I've come to the fair for a long time. As you have.
Sure.
And until you stop a few minutes and you read the reason why that building was there, the history of it, how long it's been there, what's been done to it to keep the upkeep for all those years. When Mr. Reber decided that he was going to have this event back in the day, it was started out small with agriculture, but it has grown a lot more than that, commercially as well as concessions, and there's still traditional agriculture over there. But you learn a lot when you slow down and you look at all the different buildings and understand those dynamics. In today's age, kids are running around. Security is absolutely at a maximum. It's the police department, sheriff's department, which you've been involved with. It's a very great environment. One thing, Mike, we didn't touch on is the Ag Mazing building, which is the Ed Sands Farm Bureau
Sure,
building.
yep.
And what that is a culmination of all the kids in FFA being able to take their projects, their displays, 4-H, and going into that building and see all the projects these young people have done and educational things. We're going to have some training this year. The state's bringing down a big trailer. We're going to park over there to talk about agricultural safety and silos and grain safety and rescuing somebody that falls into a grain bin and all those different things that facets the agriculture end. We had a tractor in there. There was a demo tractor where you could go in and kind of look at the tractor and different things and see on the video how it would operate and stuff. So all those things, and technology is changing so much in agriculture today.
Absolutely. It's at times, do you think, boy, if I had the money, this is what I'd do? What would, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. Those farmers put a long day in every day.
Yes, I know.
They start early and end their day, and I have a lot of respect for them. And if it wouldn't be for the farmer, we wouldn't be eating. And you don't know until you walk in somebody else's footsteps what they do or how they do it. But it certainly has been inspiring to me to be the fair manager. I have the utmost respect for agriculture today, more than I've ever had before.
And you've been in it a long time.
And I've been in horses. We've had horses for a long time. And when you learn the different varieties of agriculture and what the specialties that people have, I'm intrigued and I'm interested and I enjoy those relationships because you find out so many things that you can share to learn about, to tell your story. And our story is agriculture and being able to provide education for young people, for the community, and share and show our best that we have at the Fairfield County Fair.
If somebody just said, okay, what do you want? What do you need? Another building, this, what would Tim Voris want?
Well, I don't know if I need anything other than come out to the Fairfield County Fair, smile, enjoy all the wonderful things, stop in and say hi, be more than glad to meet you, and just I hope everybody enjoys the fair because that's what it's for.
Yeah, and you're there how many hours a day?
I'm there all day, every day.
You're basically there the whole time.
Yeah, we brought our camper in last year and we enjoy it, and my wife and family are there, so it's a family event for us, and I hope that everybody enjoys the fair is my goal, and that they have a good time at the Fairfield County Fair.
Question about campers. Registration, and how do people register? Is it too late to get a camping spot, I guess?
Yeah, they're filled up, but what they can do is call the Fairgrounds office at 740-653-3041 and talk with Sue Miller. She'll help them out getting some information on how to camp and how to register to camp next year if there's a spot open.
Yeah, it's just how many campers do you have? How many do you get?
I'm not sure. Total over 200.
Wow.
And when you look at all the different camping spots and the concessionaires that come in.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, that's right. They're there all week too.
Yes.
It's again, it's the 8th through the 14th, and talk a little bit about. We just have a few minutes left, but talk a little bit about. The different people that are there. I mean, you've got a list of stuff that we've talked about that is on the website, but something that stands out in your mind that maybe people aren't aware of. Is something a little...
Well, to learn a little bit of the history, I encourage you to stop by the depot station, for example. I had a young man named Alex Shook this summer, and he wanted to get his Eagle Scout, and he wanted to spend some time on a project. So what he and his group did is they came over and they painted the depot this summer, and that was his project to get his Eagle Scout. And one of the gentlemen there that's been there a long time is John Brown. And I encourage you to stop over and look at the building and see what a young person has done today in their community service to help themselves out with that building. And just speak with John a little bit about the history of railroads in Ohio. He has been around for a long time, has got a great history of railroads, and all the different entities within that depot of Fairfield County that has been brought to our fair.
I think it's amazing. When I walk around, of course, I like talking to older people, and I'm there myself, but I just the stuff that they've been through, and the
teachers
amazing.
in the school, the old schoolhouse, you'll see many teachers there that have taught for many years in Fairfield County, and then they retire and they want to come back to the fair each year. So they tell their story and they talk about the history of education in Ohio and some of the buildings and the building itself and a little bit about those things. So it's kind of neat to take that tour.
Do you remember your first VOAG teacher? Do you remember the first experience with
I remember J.P. Young. at Lancaster High School.
Oh, yeah.
JP was a great football coach, great teacher. Always enjoyed his inspiration to us. I went to school with his son, and we always had a good time. And what he didn't know didn't hurt anybody. And Scott Hargrove knows what I'm talking about there. A couple of those guys, but it was a good time, and he always treated us well. And I think that's what a lot of young people need today: some mentorship to help them out along the way. And so it's all good.
Well, Tim, it's been great having you on. And one more time, the website people can go to get the schedule, because there's quite a few things on there.
Sure. Our Fairfield County Fair is www.fairfieldcountyfair.org, and you can call 740-653-3041, and we'll get you the information you need for the Fairfield County Fair. Google us, look us up on Facebook. A lot of neat things going on.
$5 to get in.
Yes,
Senior
sir.
citizens is $2 on
yes,
Wednesday. And parking. Someone asked me about parking. Is there a parking fee?
No.
Nope.
That's included in the ticket. Yes, sir.
That was included in the ticket.
Yes, sir.
Well, again, Tim, it's been great having you on, and we wish you the best of luck. And what's the first thing you're going to eat when you get there?
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm going to find bourbon chicken before the day's over.
It sounds great. That really sounds great.
Yeah. I like to specialize something special each year, just to emphasize it's a good food that's over there.
I just take it all.
and if you visit Mike Miller, he'll be over the Dippin' Dots ice cream treat.
A couple times.
And at the art hall where the sugar cookies are at.
That's exactly it. I'll hit them all. Believe me, I will hit them all. But again, it's been great having you on.
Thank you very much for having me, sir.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. And remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.